Hello, everyone. I just wanted to check in today and just put a few words out there for our allies. It is a remarkable moment that we're living in right now. This is the largest civil rights movement in the history of the world, and it is such because we have a critical mass of white allies who are marching beside us, who are putting their bodies in front of police officers or between police officers and black bodies, who are standing up in defense of justice, in defense of black liberation. So it's a remarkable moment, and it is happening all over the world. I do want to reach out to the allies and say that we do want you to stay the course. This movement runs the risk of becoming a flash in the pan. And the reason that we have a substantial opportunity to make a seismic shift at this time is precisely because it is not the oppressed who are going to dismantle white supremacy on our own. It is by people who are in positions of privilege, who have access to the levers of power, who are willing to use that power, to use their voices in service of a greater opportunity. It is because of that that we will be able to make the shift. In the history of humanity, there have scarcely been moments where the power base or the oppressor has woken up on a random Tuesday and declared that they were just going to hand over freedom to the people who are otherwise not free, right? Generally speaking, people gain their freedom through violent action, and that is something that is preferably avoided. With white people, black people, and everyone else standing together, marching together, and demanding justice, I believe that we'll be able to see a new world order, one that is devoid of the delusion of white supremacy. For the record, I wrote a Medium post called The Delusion of White Supremacy. I always preface the term white supremacy with delusion because words have power. And just saying white supremacy gives power to the idea that whiteness was ever supreme, and it never was. Never was, never will be. We are one human family. We are one human race. For those of you who do not know, race is a social construct. Race was invented in order to do horrible things to black people. And this is historical truth. Look it up. Look it up. And if you are a white people, that this is the season where you just have to do the work. So I thank you for standing with us, marching with us, and for using your voice and your power within all of the systems and structures that you have access to in service of Black liberation. This is a really powerful moment, as I said. I do want you to recognize that the reasons that we've been unable to have this conversation about race and racism in the past is because our American educational system absolutely robbed us of our birthright, which is to know and understand the truth of our history. The truth of our collective history is that racism is something that was designed with great intention. There is nothing about the circumstances that we find ourselves in right now that is an accident. There's nothing about systemic injustice, about racism, and about the delusion of white supremacy that happened by happenstance. All of our systems are functioning exactly as they were designed to function. And so it is with equal intention that we will dismantle those systems of oppression and rebuild something beautiful in its place. So now is definitely the time for you to do the work. And I'm, sorry, there are no hacks, there are no shortcuts. The work is hard, but just like hygiene is not something that you do in one moment on one day and then you're done, you have to keep at it. You're not going to have a fit and healthy body by doing one workout or taking one Zumba class. You've got to keep at it. So the process of becoming culturally aware, of becoming culturally fluent, and of becoming a cultural co-conspirator and ally is an ongoing process that you're going to have to just continue to engage in. Embrace it, because it is the work of a lifetime. I've spent 25 years officially doing the work, but I've been doing it my whole life because I was raised by justice workers. I was raised by people who saw the value in this kind of work. And have generations of ancestors and family who have been working towards Black liberation and the liberation of all people. So I believe this is human work. This isn't Black work. This isn't white work. This isn't BIPOC work. This is work for all of us to do if we're going to coexist as one human family, and if we're going to build systems that are designed for us all to thrive. Scarcity is an illusion. There is enough for everyone to be successful. The fact that since the 1970s, executives and and founders and shareholders have become exponentially more wealthy than the people who are doing the hard work, that was done by design, and it has caused great harm. Our eroding middle class was also something that happened on purpose. There are so many systems of injustice and inequity that we have the power to affect. So, voting matters. Paying attention to who believes in what and who supports which systems matters. I want to say a little bit about the books that people are reading right now. If you haven't read Ibram X. Kendi's How to Be an Anti-Racist, you need to read that one. That's a great one. You need to certainly, if you want to do the deep dive, his previous book, Stamped from the Beginning: A Complete History of Racist Ideas in America, is that's a big read, and it's worth it if you really want to understand the foundation. And I know that there's controversy about supporting white authors and white thought leaders in this moment. I read White Fragility, and I appreciated it for the fact that this was a white woman who did the work, who has worked as an anti-racist diversity practitioner for many, many years. And if you're only reading white authors right now and you're only learning from white people about racism and systems of oppression, that's a problem. But I do believe that reading books like White Fragility and books like Raising Our Hands by Jenna Arnold, I think those are really important journeys to go on because there is something about learning from the journey of someone like you, like reading about a person who went on an anti-racist journey, who is a whole entire white person. There's something about that journey and that translation that a Black author will not be able to give you. You won't be able to relate in the same way. So understanding the history of systems of oppression and racism, yeah, you need to do that from Black authors, from people who've lived it, who can infuse first person experience and really understand it to the core and have that DNA heritage. But I do think that reading both white and Black authors is important. I know that that's not going to be a popular opinion, and I'm probably going to catch heat for it, but I do believe that there is something sacred in hearing from our own and learning from our own, which is why your learning cannot stop with just Googling and reading and watching, 13th on Netflix and watching When They See Us. You can read, you can watch, you can listen. There's so many things that you can do, but it must not stop there, right? And it cannot stop with the marches. You've got to also, once you have started to understand these ideas, these systems, our history, where we come from, then the imperative is on you to engage with other white people, right? Engage with white people who know more than you about this and who know less. It is in the teaching that we learn. So you got to each one reach one, right? Find other white people who need to learn more and help them on their journey, and learn from white people who are further on the journey and exchange ideas and work with them first, right? Now is not the time to be leaning on your Black friends, colleagues, or associates to get an education from them. It is not Black people's job to educate you, okay? Now, I exclude myself from that because I'm a whole educator in this space, and that's what I've built my brand around, and that's what I do. But that is a paid profession. So burdening your Black friends, colleagues, and associates with that is more than they need right now. The emotional tax is real. The APR on the emotional tax has just gone through the roof, and ain't no Black people got time for all your 97 questions and text messages right now. The only appropriate text message is, I feel you. My heart is breaking for you and your people. I'll support you in any way that I can. Let me know what you need, but feel free to not respond to this text. I just want you to know that if you need me, I'm here, full stop, right? So be very thoughtful about how you engage with Black folks at this time. So anyway, I just wanted to say those things for you. If you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, definitely let me know in the comments. I have been spending more time putting content on Instagram Live. So at Tiffany Jana, hit me up on Instagram Live. And if you want an even deeper dive, a more personal interaction, you can find me on patreon.com/ at Tiffany Jana, I think, but I'm on Patreon, and that's one way that you can support and engage if you need more sort of more interpersonal interaction. Be well, have grace for yourself and grace for others on this journey, and I'm really proud of you for taking this on. This is the journey of a lifetime, but I think this is what we're all here for at this time. Take care.